Here we go. All right, welcome to the Bullets Forever post game hangout. I was about to say podcast because, of course, we're the podcast guys too. But it's Mike Sykes here with Akbar Nakvi, and we're going to talk a bit about the Wizards going 3-0 on the Raptors. This I didn't really expect this at all. I don't think a lot of people expected this. They were decidedly underdogs coming in. The Raptors were, I think, they were favored by like. Their odds were like 69% to win the series.
Here we go. All right, welcome to the.
Oh, do you have another window open?
I was about to say podcast because, of course, with the
I think
podcast,
someone has another window open.
but it's Mike Sykes
I'll
here
close
with
my
Akbar
windows.
Nakvi, and we're going to talk a bit about the Wizards going 3-0.
All right, that's okay.
There we go. Okay, so yeah, this was totally unexpected by most accounts. Most people would have told you that the Raptors were going to win this and they were going to win this easily. Even though they had been playing terribly, the Wizards, they weren't good themselves. So I mean, after taking a second to kind of think about it, kind of look at where we are. We're in the position to sweep someone for the first time in a 7-game series in the franchise's history. Oh, how did we get here? I guess that might be too big of a question. So if it is, just try your best to answer it. But I'm kind of baffled that we're here right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, I know. Like I thought the 3-game sweep was a little deceiving because both of those games could have gone either way, and the Raptors have been essentially, bad for the second half of the season all year after the All-Star break. So I thought this was a series they had a chance at, but I never thought they would go up 3-0. I think the biggest things are one, Whitman has conceded to the fact that Pierce playing the 4 is an effective lineup. I think the offensive numbers of that lineup is absurd, and the net rating is ridiculous too. But just a combination of things. Beal being more aggressive off the dribble, Wall also being more aggressive off the dribble, him not being as apt to take those pull-up long twos, same with Beal. They've just taken it up a notch in the playoffs, and everyone's just playing better, I think. And Gortat also should be mentioned. He's been outstanding in this series. He's been really the quiet killer of this series. He's been scoring inside. He's been protecting the rim. He's been passing out of double teams. I mean, he's been doing everything in this series, and it's you just can't say enough about how much players have elevated their game. And of course, Paul Pierce, the guy that's been just destroying teams in the playoffs for years. I never expected this from the Wizards. It just seems like everyone has elevated their game to another level in the playoffs. Just something that we just haven't seen from them before. They just seem to make a concerted effort to just take their games to another level, and it's great to watch, and it's shocking that they're in this position right now.
Yeah, I kind of want to talk a bit about Gortat. He had 24 points tonight, 13 rebounds. But the most underrated part of his line tonight, I think, was the 5 assists he had, and a lot of those were coming because of the trap that Toronto was throwing at Wall all night. Gortat, I mean, it was pretty much him just catching the ball in the middle of the floor and then making a play. And I think that's a pretty underrated part of his game.
Definitely is, especially against a team like Toronto, which traps so much. And their defensive strategy is essentially that they're fine giving up threes, and they try to force turnovers up high. And of course, that hasn't worked out for them this year for the most part. And that was one of the concerns coming into the series, that the Wizards weren't going to take advantage of the fact that Toronto gives up a lot of threes, and clearly it's been the opposite. The Wizards are taking a lot of threes in this series, and it's not many mid-range jumpers, a lot of shots at the rim, and Wall's just carving up their aggressive trap defense. And Wall and Gortat running the pick and roll has been a beautiful thing to watch. Gortat, I think, is essentially played like Nene did last year against the Bulls. He's been the same kind of boost for them, and he's elevated his game to another level like Nene did last year. And I feel like he's not getting as much pub for it. But
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of sad because I mean he's been pretty much the catalyst for their offense in this entire series. Without him playing as well as he has, I don't think they're up 3-0. I mean, I don't even know if they're up in the series, to be honest with you. I think he's their second best player,
yeah,
really. Just all types of respect for Bill and his game, but Gortat's just that good right now, and I think he's been pretty good all year. But no, you just talked a bit about it, and I wanted to get into that too. The Wizards took 28 3-point attempts tonight, out of 75 shots. That's insane.
yeah, yeah. That's up. I think that's up with like the top of teams and attempts in the league, and they've been jacking them up. They've since playing Pierce at the four helps. Beal being a bit more aggressive helps. Of course, Toronto's defense, which gives up a lot of threes, helps as well.
Yep.
So it's there's a combination of things, but it's been very encouraging that they're actually taking the shots, taking good shots, moving the ball, not settling for long twos. It's just been a really good offensive series for them, and I think that's been underrated for the most part. I think game one they struggled a bit offensively in the first quarter, and since then they've been just taking off, and it's been great, and they've been great defensively too. So.
Yeah, here's a look at their shot chart right now. As you guys can see, it's 60% at the rim right now on 33 shots, 12 mid-range attempts. Period. I mean, this is not traditional Wizards ball, right? I mean,
81% of their shots at the rim or from three. I mean, this is the most about as opposite of a shot chart as you can see from the Wizards. Yeah, they've just been playing better, and I think it's not just maybe Whitman adjusting his philosophy. I think Beal has not settled for those shots. I mean, a lot of those jumpers come from the fact that Wall and Beal both take a bulk of them, and they just tend to settle a lot. And also, Nene has his share, and he hasn't been playing as much in this series. So they've essentially gone into a Wall Gortat pick and roll, spread pick and roll, and just kicking the ball out to shooters and or trying to get to the rim. And it's been awesome to watch. And you think, why couldn't they do this all season? But at the same time, it is Toronto's defense, and
yeah. I think I wrote about this like a week or two ago before the series ever started. They're still essentially taking what the defense is giving them, but the defense is giving them a lot of 3-point attempts. And I think I've never liked this hard hedge trap defense, really, just because you're vulnerable to the three ball unless you're a super athletic team like, say, the Miami Heat from 2010 to 2012. It's going to hurt you in the long run, I think, and that's what we're seeing a bit with the Raptors here, and maybe a little bit of Drake too. Drake also.
Yeah, and it was one of the Heat's Achilles heels at one point too. Before they kicked it up a gear in the playoffs. I mean, it's a very effective defense if you have the athletes. It can just cause havoc, and you don't even need a strong rim protector. But if you don't have the athletes to rotate consistently, you're just going to get killed. And the Raptors have been trying to play this style of defense all year. And granted, a lot of it's because Jonas Valanciunas is not a very good defender, aside from rim protection. They've played Lou Williams a lot, but their defensive scheme isn't very apt to. It hasn't been very effective, and which is weird because the Raptors' defense last year was actually very good, but
Casey's defenses are traditionally good. Like it's been a really weird year for them.
Yeah,
really, and
especially their offense. Their offense is really strange. Like they're not a good passing team, but they jack up a lot of shots, but it works for them because they get to the line a lot, and a lot of their guys are really
Yeah.
good one-on-one players. So, but obviously,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
said this in a podcast before, but that kind of style doesn't really work in the playoffs as well. So,
Yeah, unless you're the Thunder.
yeah,
Well, I guess not anymore. Maybe depending on who they
maybe.
hire, but that's another story for another time. But no, I don't know, man. This is just, it's crazy that the Wizards are up right now 3-0. This is the first time in franchise history that they've ever had an advantage like this, and for it to come against a team that they struggled against, so often over the last 2 years, it's just I can't get over it, man. I just can't.
I mean, it was like it's surreal. It really is. Just
Let me ask you this: if the Wizards keep playing this way, if they play where they're taking a lot of threes, where they're not using the mid range as much, where they get into the line, get into the rim, how what is this team ceiling like? Do you think they have a chance against the Hawks? And I guess we can kind of talk about the Hawks now since the Wizards are up 3-0, and that's a team has never come back from that. All due respect to the Raptors, like I still don't know if the Wizards are going to win the series right now, but
we've been through too much. We've seen them give up a 35-point lead, so anything.
yeah, exactly. So, but I don't know. Do you think that they stand a chance against Atlanta and Cleveland? Like, is this in Chicago now even as well with the way they're
Atlanta's
playing?
interesting. They haven't been playing as well, but the they just kind of killed the Wizards during the regular season. But
Yeah,
as we see, that's not really indicative of that. Might not be indicative of anything in the playoffs. Perhaps the Wizards spread them out a bit. Switch a lot. Perhaps just ignore Millsap from three. There's a lot of things you can do against the Hawks to sort of slow down their offense. But of course, if guys start hitting shots, then you have no answer for that. But I think against other teams, I think Chicago, even though Chicago Rose has been incredible, I don't see him kind of sustaining all of this because a lot of his success has been off jumpers and stuff, and the Wizards seem to have a psychological advantage over the Bulls, even though they beat them.
that's funny.
And yeah, I mean, anything can happen. It takes one injury. Any it's they're starting to look strong right now. So a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's the Raptors. Oh, the Raptors can't defend." But I think they've done. It shouldn't be overlooked that this is the third-ranked defense, and the Wizards have held them. What is it? Under 100 for like the 3 out of the 4.
Third ranked offense, you mean?
Sorry, third-ranked offense, and they've held them to under 100 in 2 out of the 3 games. I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's really impressive. It's really impressive what the Wizards have been able to do, despite a lot of people saying that this is a really trash series. And I mean, hey, it might be. I don't know.
Honestly, like the first game was not good, but but it was close.
Right.
The second game was really fun. I mean, even though it was a blowout, it was a fun blowout because
Yeah,
it was hitting everything. And this game was
fun the other way around, I guess.
Yeah.
What did you think of Porter tonight? Because I've always thought that Otto could be this good, or play like that. This is kind of how I think he needs to play. And I think he needs a lot of space to operate and to kind of cut and do the things that he can do. But he's just been really good this entire series on defense, especially against DeRozan. What do you think of him right now?
I think he's just grown.
Hey, where'd Akbar go? No, but like I was saying, guys, I really think that Otto Porter, he's taken another step here. I don't know, like I'm not going to sit here and say that he's a next level player or anything like that, but I kind of think that this is the blueprint for him, as far as how he's supposed to play and how he can work for the Wizards. I mean, taking a look at his line tonight, he had 10 points on 6 shots, hit those 2 huge 3-pointers. in the fourth quarter, responding to a couple of threes the Raptors did, and then I mean, he even had 7 rebounds, and that's in the last 2 games he's had. Let me do math here. This is how terrible I am at math. He's had 16 rebounds in the last 2 games, and 2 of them tonight were on the offensive end. I mean, he's just like getting in there, scrapping, fighting for the rebound. I mean, he's just doing the hustle things, hitting the dirt plays that, a lot of players don't do. And I think this is kind of exactly what the Wizards need. And is Akbar back? Oh, there we go. Okay, there you go.
Sorry about that. My computer froze on me for no reason.
No problem. Technology, even in 2015, it's kind of weird. So,
what was I talking about again?
And we were talking about Otto Porter, and I was just saying that he does a lot of the dirty things that a lot of players won't do. Like he's just on the glass every night. In the last 2 games, he's had 16 rebounds. Just guarding DeRozan, I think it's kind of underrated what he's doing with DeRozan, because like DeRozan's not playing him on the offensive end. Like he's not guarding Otto Porter, but Otto Porter has to come back and guard him, and it's really hard to go up and down the floor and pay attention and be aware of the cross match that you're involved in. And I think Otto's done a really, really good job of that. And I mean, to Whitman's credit, I guess, he's playing them a lot more right now than he did in the regular season, and I think this is a good sign of things to come for him in the future in general.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I just think he's grown up. He's just playing better. At the beginning of the year, he was kind of losing guys a lot off the ball. His lateral quickness kind of hurt him because he didn't really seem to use his length to his advantage. But as the year has gone on, he's become slowly better at defense. And it's not, it used to be that he was really good at using his length to help and make things complicated. Now he's defending guys one-on-one. He's strapping guys. He's, being that lockdown perimeter defender. And I just never expected that from him. I didn't even expect that from him coming out of college. I just thought he was just going to be a great help guy because of his length. But it seems like he's using his length in good ways. He's not falling for pump fakes.
Oh, my God. He's been so underrated in that aspect. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
He seems to know all of DeRozan's moves. Like he just seems it's incredible. Like his defenses, and every time in every game, DeRozan has started off strong, and Otto has. And when Otto comes to the game, he just disappears with the game. It's great to watch. He's having a really underrated series, and he's knocking down his threes. By the way,
yeah,
that's important. Awesome to see. Like if he can do that next year, then he deserves. Like, he's gonna be a starter for life if he can hit a three. And great, and play defense at the same time.
Can we just take a second to appreciate the job that was done on DeRozan tonight, though? I mean, he started off in the first quarter, had 20 points, shot 8 of 11 from the field, made 3 shots the rest of the game, and only scored 12 points. I mean, that is amazing. That's amazing. And a lot of that has to do with Otto. I mean, some of that is DeRozan, too, bailing the Wizards out with terrible shots, but
yeah, he was going to regress eventually, but like even with those contested shots he was making, making those contested shots bothering him a little bit more, it just creates that little extra incentive to miss, and it just creates that little extra hesitation, and that matters. And DeRozan was taking Pierce off the dribble a lot, getting to the line, and he just couldn't take Otto off the dribble, even though that's been one of Otto's weaknesses, which that's the thing that I've been most impressed about. Aside from not falling for the pump fakes, is he seems to been able to stay in front of him. So
I think that had like you were just saying, I think that has a lot to do with him just using his length, because I mean his wingspan is insane, and he's tall and lanky, and he stays down, and he's just able to kind of move and get in position. I mean it's just the charges that he's been able to take this series. I mean, that's incredibly valuable on the defensive end, especially with a guy like Amir Johnson, who really, I mean, when he's rolling down the lane, he's a tough burden to handle, and he can't really put the ball on the floor. So I mean, once you get right there, you're pretty much either getting scored on fouling or taking a charge. And Otto's been able to take charges, and I mean, and that's kind of the how it goes with him with Johnson, Valanciunas, and a lot of the Raptors bigs. I mean, it's he's just been incredible. Yeah, I'm really happy for him that he's playing this well now, because it seemed like his tenure as a Wizard has been incredibly frustrating with injury and playing time and stuff like that. So it's really good to see him doing so well in the playoffs right now on the biggest stage.
Yeah, I agree. I always had high hopes for him. I thought, even with the struggles in the regular season and last year with the injury, he just had those tools. He just seemed, every time he was on the court, he just seemed to know what he was doing out there, and he just seemed to make those little plays, steals, rebounds, block, a block here or there. I mean, these are three stats that are like really important for guys when looking at prospects, especially because you already know he's making an impact with his length, and if he can just get the other parts of his game down, including his perimeter shot, which wasn't that bad from the beginning, by the way. Like, he couldn't really shoot threes that well this year, but there's something there. It's not like he's one of the worst shooters in the league or anything. Like, he shot 40% from three in college, so he's got some kind of skill there. So I always thought that he just had the look of a 3-and-D guy in this league. And it should be noted, he led the team in plus-minus again. He's a plus-minus monster. There's a lot of those around the league. Draymond Green last year. Of course, everyone knows how good Draymond is last year. Good Draymond is this year, but last year he was the same way. Like, every time he was on the floor, the Warriors just played better. He didn't seem to be a superstar, but he just did things that made his team better. And Otto's the same way, and he's just the guy. The starters seem to play well with him. He seems to play really well with Wall on the floor. He's just a perfect fit for what this team wants to do, especially. And he helps spacing, even if his 3-point shooting isn't great. He helps the spacing. He moves around. He crashes the offensive glass. That's also something that's underrated about him. He just grabs offensive rebounds and takes advantage of. That's why you can't hide players on him, because he will just grab an offensive rebound over them, or he will shoot threes over them. So, or cut behind them. You just can't ignore him in any way, and he just makes himself a threat on every play.
I'm really glad. Let me say, I'm really glad that you brought up that Draymond comparison, because I've been pushing that for like the last 3 months. I think he could possibly be the Wizards' Draymond Green, and I know like Draymond's really, really good. Like, I don't want to take anything away from him, but I think Otto can play that same type of role as potentially a combo forward who can guard multiple positions, and I think that's incredibly valuable. I mean, the way that the Warriors have used Dre this year, it just shows, you need a Swiss Army knife sometimes, and I think Otto can really be that.
Yeah, obviously he probably won't. I don't expect him to be a deep defensive player of the year candidate, but he can still have that same kind of career trajectory. I mean, Draymond wasn't very good in his rookie year. Last year he was a lot better, and especially when he played. And this year he's broken out, and I think Otto can have that same kind of path. I think next year, if you put Otto as a starter, perhaps start Pierce at the 4, or Nene at the 4, or bring Pierce off the bench. I don't know what you want to do, but if you let Otto play some major minutes next year, you could have yourself a 3-and-D guy locked up for the next 5-10 years. So it's really valuable.
I kind of want to talk about the Raptors bigs today, because I think that's really one of the biggest reasons why, aside from Kyle Lowry being just uncharacteristically terrible, I think they haven't really gotten a lot of production out of their bigs. Jonas Valanciunas he's actually been a pretty good net rating guy, but like when he's on the floor, their offense just seems to kind of sputter. Like once he catches the ball, he's not giving it up. He's kind of like Kevin Seraphin, I think, if that's a legitimate comparison. I think Amir Johnson, he's been really slow on defense. That I think it was a Wall layup today where Wall just blew by Valanciunas first, and then Amir Johnson was supposed to meet him at the rim, but Amir Johnson just couldn't get over there. Well, I think this is just, first of all, a terrible matchup for Johnson, and really Valanciunas. I don't think this is a good matchup for him either. The only really productive big that they've had is Patrick Patterson, and I don't think they're using him enough.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Valanciunas has been an interesting player. You know, he's a very good offensive player. He's got a nice little post game, nice little in between floater game and stuff. The team just seems to not play as well with him on the floor. They just seem slower offensively. Their offense bogs down, and their defense is a little worse because he's just really slow. And you know, guys like Patrick Patterson and Amir Johnson are just better at playing that aggressive scheme. And granted, you know, they haven't exactly, you know, given him confidence by benching him a lot in the fourth quarter during the season, just playing a style that just doesn't fit him. But it just hasn't been a great matchup for him. And Casey doesn't play him much anyway. And because you don't play him, you don't have any defensive rebounding. So the Wizards have been able to take advantage of that. That can't be forgotten.
Yeah.
And Amir Johnson, you know, Amir Johnson's always been this plus minus darling. Like he's been one of the most underrated players probably ever, actually. Like
yeah, I was gonna say ever.
Like every single year his advanced stats are amazing. And you know, this season it's just not been there for him because he's not been healthy. And he's declining. So it's unfortunate that his career is kind of got wasted, and he's probably just going to fade away into history. But he's always been a great player, and I've always loved watching him. So yeah, it's kind of sad to see his decline.
Yeah, I actually thought they played kind of well tonight. Like they didn't get killed on the glass again. And they forced a lot of turnovers. They really gambled in the third quarter, and I think that really paid off for them. They also had 8 second chance points, which is pretty important. But like I don't know. I just feel like if they had one productive big, like this series might be completely different.
Yeah, man. I mean, especially a guy that can just dive to the rim. They just haven't had that kind of threat aside from Amir, who's been kind of a step slow. So, you know, it's been a tough series for them, man. It's Lowry struggled, and their rotations have been wonky. You know, it was kind of sad watching Lowry tonight because he just started off the season so well. Was playing at an all-star level and then just tailed off with a complication of things, just like his injury, DeRozan coming back. So I've always been kind of a fan of Kyle Lowry. I kind of respect his game, even though he's a little annoying to watch with drawing the fouls and stuff. But I've always kind of respected him, and it's kind of sad to see him have a game like this and have a series like this, quite frankly.
Yeah, I agree. And you know, I hope he plays well in one of these games, right? Because I don't think you ever want to, you know, just see a guy like that, especially with his story, with how he's just grown as a player. I don't think you ever want to see him, you know, fail. But you know, the good guys are winning. So I don't know. I don't know what else to say about that. Do you think we sweep them?
Do I think we'd sweep them?
This is unprecedented.
The Raptors took another game, but I just feel like the Wizards are just so locked in right now that the Raptors just are so crushed at this point. You know, if they win that game 4, I think that'll be just a great reflection on their character. But you know, I'd expect this to be a sweep, but you know, anything can happen.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a sweep. Just so I'm actually, after we get off of here, I'm going to spend the rest of my night going through Drake lyrics, searching for some type of just source material to make Drake sweep jokes. I mean, I feel like I owe that to you all. feel like I owe that to the world. So that's what I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Drake got booed tonight. By the way, I thought that the
Yeah,
Wizards
I
fans.
didn't know. I was watching the game and they were just booing with the Wizards on offense. It's like, is there Raptors fans here now? Or
Right,
something?
like Wall had the ball and he just brought it up the court and everyone started booing. I'm like, what did John Wall say? Like that was my first reaction. I thought that he had said something like that Jawan Howard thing where he's talking about the fans or something like that. And then like I don't know. I see tweets and it's like, no, Drake's here. Everyone's booing.
I
I'm
mean,
like,
it was
okay.
unfortunate that Wale couldn't be there to relive
Oh man, that would be great. That would be great.
the Soldier Boy thing. But yeah,
We gotta save him. Gotta save him for Cleveland, man.
oh yeah.
God. I hope Cleveland loses in the second round.
Oh god, yeah. Especially since it would be a better matchup for the Wizards. So
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great, man. Let's not talk Eastern Conference Finals right now, though. Getting a little too far.
yeah, probably getting a little too far. We did the same thing last year and got killed for it. So
Yeah, David West.
I was so sure that they were going to win that series. But anyway,
I
that's
mean,
another story.
yeah, that's another story. I don't know. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about before we wrap up?
Uh, is there anyone we didn't mention? We didn't really mention Wall that much, did we?
We did not mention Wall.
Wow.
But I mean, that's just a reflection of how great they played tonight, though, right? I mean, he was amazing, though. He really was.
Yeah, he was fantastic. You know, he didn't shoot it that well, but he just found guys. Just he just seems to be unstoppable now, even without a reliable jump shot. I guess like teams, whether you trap him or whether you play off him, he'll cut you. He'll just carve you apart because he just knows what defense he anticipates what the defense is doing before they even do it. He's just really his basketball IQ is off the charts right now, and it's yeah, he just carved up the Raptors today. It was fun, and especially some of the stuff he did in transition. Ooh,
It's just insane, you know, how people say that he's not really a point guard, like he's not
yeah,
a pure passer, and I'm just like, oh my god, like, do you watch this guy? There was right before the half, and if you follow me on Twitter, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There, and you I don't know if you saw it, Akbar, but like Wall's coming, he's driving from the right wing, coming down the floor, and like he goes into that he's about to whip. It looks like he's about to whip the ball into the corner on the left side, and like Gortat's under the rim, and he somehow got the ball to Gortat while looking at the corner and making a motion like he's passing to the corner. And I'm just like, how is any of this possible? Like how can a human being do this?
the
Right? I've
functional
never seen that
pass.
before.
The functional no look pass is what. Yeah, I mean that's he does things a human should do, both intellectually with how he sees the court and just athletically. I mean, he. I really think he's much better than his stats show. Even
Yeah.
like, or his even his advanced stats. I feel like he's better than some of them. I mean, he's just been fantastic all year. Best guard in the East. I know Kyrie's been playing well, and I know I'm kind of a homer for it, but I just don't see any kind of like any kind of point guard having this kind of shouldering this much for such a bad offensive team in the regular season, at least. So
Yeah, I just he's just amazing, man. All due respect to Kyrie Irving, I just don't see anyone better.
yeah,
I mean, it's tough, you know, like just how good he's become in such a short time. It's amazing because I mean, even 2 years ago, Wall wasn't making passes like those. Like the no look was not a part of his game, but now he's doing that regularly.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, even 2 years ago, his best pass was that cross court jump pass.
Yeah.
Well, that's what he was known for, and he's added so much more to his game. He's just become the full package in terms of his passes. Interior passes. He threw some beautiful entry passes today. Just pick and roll, pocket passes, and of course the cross court stuff. He might be the best passer in basketball right now. So
I would say, if not the best, the most well-rounded.
yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you can be the best without being well-rounded. I'm honestly not sure, but whatever. The bottom line, I guess, is that John Wall is very good, and I feel like he's the second best player in the East after LeBron. I don't know. I feel like
someone, but yeah, we might be forgetting someone, but I feel like that's doesn't seem crazy right now. But
I feel like I just disrespected the Hawks somehow. Like somehow I just disrespected the Hawks.
Jimmy Butler, I don't know. That's the only one I could think of.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like the East has a bunch of guys that are in their primes just dropping like 25 and 6 on people or something like that every night. If Derrick Rose was 2010 Derrick Rose, 2011 Derrick Rose, like, okay, but I don't know, man. Just Wall is just really good right now.
Yeah.
And kudos to you. There goes that word, kudos. Kudos to you for calling him actually playing really well this series. I think that you were even months ago when we first talked about the playoffs. You said you wanted the Raptors because you felt like Wall would play well, and here he is playing well against the Raptors, and they're up 3-0. So
yeah, just it's fun to watch, and I hope it continues. I hope we don't get that better ending that we got last season. I just want this to be
I just don't want to lose to the Cavs, man.
That's true. God,
Look what I did, right?
They're either facing the Bulls and the Cavs if they even make it that far. So that's. Now that I think, but I'd rather lose to Hawks because at least that's a graceful loss. The Hawks are fun; they're a good story. If we end up making it to the Eastern Conference Finals and losing to one of those two teams, God, that'll be awful.
Rank them right now. Who would you rather lose to, the Bulls or the Cavs?
I go one. I would rather lose to the. I would rather. Oh, that's hard. I really hate the Bulls, but. I guess I'll say the Bulls just because Hawks, just Cavs fans are awful. Cavs fans like to troll a lot, so I don't want them to get bragging rights. But I actually don't like the Bulls. I hate the Bulls more, but I would say.
Oh man, I don't know, man. Cavs are like the clear number one for me. They're the clear number one for me.
I think they're going to the finals, but. Yeah.
Oh, you can't say that on here.
I can't, but I'll be root. That's why my if the Wizards don't pull it off, then I'll be rooting for the Hawks, obviously, because I'm not rooting for the other two teams. So, yeah.
Go Warriors.
Yeah. In the East, I'm rooting for the Hawks. I guess I'm rooting for the Warriors out West because they're just fun.
Yeah. But, yeah, we need to bring Deshaun Stevenson back and get Boy back.
Oh yeah,
wouldn't it be so cool if they brought just bring Stevenson back, bring Gilbert back, bring Karan back. Game? Yeah, for one game. If they play the Cavs, bring them back for game one. Give me Gilbert, give me Deshaun, and give me Karan Butler. Or something like that. Like,
just bring that would be great. Man. Oh, that would be I
don't know if Jameson would come back though, because he was a Cav.
He was a Cav, and I think he commentates for someone. I don't know, but yeah, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. But man, now I really want to play the Cavs. But
I don't.
Because I just don't want to end the season on the sour note that it ended with them. Yeah. So
Yeah. You know what? I guess I wouldn't mind playing them, but we're not there yet. So
yeah. Yeah, well, we'll see.
yeah. Let's go ahead and wrap up here. Okay, so we're continuing to run through the six with our woes right now.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I mean this is a recurring theme apparently. So let's hope for the sweep. Go Wizards. They play on Sunday. So we will see everyone there and then. All right. Thanks.
See you guys.